want to talk about.
There you go. All right, 7:30 right now, everybody. Welcome back to the program. And Stivers Ford Lincoln is downright proud to salute great organizations in town. And boy, oh boy, do we have a couple of great organizations.
Yeah, Scott Veach has been on our program before talking about Central Iowa Organics and the amazing things you've taught us, Scott, about how just eating the right food can literally change your life. And you are so excited to tell me about a new program that you've started called Food for Hope. So can you tell us about that this morning?
Yeah, what we did is there's a major problem in Iowa with hunger. We've partnered with DMARC, we've partnered with Central Iowa Shelter Services, and we set some pretty lofty goals for ourselves. We want to grow and donate, upwards of 200,000 pounds of produce this year.
That's a lot of food.
That's a lot of, yeah.
That's a ton of food, yeah.
Well,
almost, yeah.
Yeah, DMARC, currently they have 12 brick and mortar food pantries.
Right.
The Iowa Food Bank always are running on a deficit of produce. They end up taking their funding and buying produce from Capital City and other places. Well, we want to keep that here local. We don't want them to buy produce from anywhere else. We would rather grow it, create jobs here in the local area, and create an epidemic called health.
What a thought.
Yeah.
And now you brought a very special guest in with you this morning. Who did you bring in?
This is Melissa O'Neill. We've partnered with Central Iowa Shelter Services. And what we're doing with Central Iowa Shelter Services is we're supplying them with produce, and they're supplying us with help. And what we're doing is we're giving these people on-the-job training, so they're going to know in the process of time when they are finished with Central Iowa Shelter Services if they're interested in becoming a farm.
There you go.
Or working on a farm full time. And then we can get them out of Des Moines where they can move into Winterset. They can find an apartment there cheaper than they can in the Des Moines area. And they can actually have a career. And now we've gone to where we've expanded to 2 greenhouses, so 4 seasons we'll have fresh produce all year round.
Oh, how great is that?
Let's hear from you, Melissa, this morning. What does a program like this mean to your organization?
Well, Scott sums it up so beautifully. In homelessness in general, we have a large population of individuals with chronic health issues. And one of the goals that we have is to really create an environment that's a health and safety location for people to get back up on their feet. So when Scott first came to us with this idea of saying, hey, Melissa, I could use some additional trainees, which builds upon a program we already have at CISS called Mulberry Farms and Food, where we put 5 individuals back to work in our big growing dome and greenhouse in the backyard. And so when Scott brought this to us, like, hey, this would be a great natural progression for these individuals who have gone through our training program to then turn around and not just give back to the community that's providing them with the help and support, but grow those necessary skills that they need to become self-sufficient, to get the housing and to have a career, not just a training program and a job.
What were your thoughts when he came to you and offered this up?
I couldn't believe he was actually offering it. I was sitting there and I'm like, is he seriously offering us fresh organic fruits and vegetables that we can actually provide to our homeless population here in Iowa? I couldn't believe it. I was blown away. And then to turn around and serve, we have 5 community kitchen sites that we serve, 117,000 meals here in central Iowa. And this fresh produce could be used in our community kitchen sites to go along with the work that's already being done on our team. I really honestly thought it was a gift, and this time of year and this season of our life, really thankful and blessed to have Scott as a part of our family and our team here at CISS.
Well, think about it. Even you at home, when you get to eat fresh produce, and you're one of our best when it comes to organic farmers, Scott, you love that food, but let's also think about when we're donating to food pantries or organizations or shelters, it's like, what canned item can I get, or something that can sustain a time on a shelf. But so people don't always get those fresh vegetables like they need in their life to be healthy.
What's the difference between someone utilizing a canned item is great, no question about that, but when they get the ability to have a fresh item?
So think about it on your own dinner table. Is it fast, easy, convenient? Or is it something where you grabbed a fresh lettuce or a fresh apple and you have that as a privilege rather than something that came off of a shelf and canned? You automatically feel better. So it's not for us just about getting the calorie content into the individuals, but it's also about providing nutritious and healthy foods is a part of that calorie content. Scott gave a remarkable number this morning when we were sharing and sitting in the green room, and I'll let you share that. But when he said it, I was like, wow. we're really operating at a deficit. And so if we can do more in central Iowa to provide healthy foods to the population that very rarely gets it, it builds upon what DMARC's doing, it builds upon what the Food Bank of Iowa is doing, it builds upon what our supporters here in central Iowa with Nationwide's gift to the Food Bank of Iowa. It really helps us grow a culture of health and well-being across our system rather than fast, easy, convenient.
Now let's talk about that deficit, because Scott, you saw there was a need and you're trying to fill it, but that is a big need just here in Polk County.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, you look at during the holiday season, the Iowa Food Bank, you know, they put out 1.4 million pounds of food.
Unbelievable.
That's just in the month of December alone.
Right.
I mean, that's a deficit all over the county. And you can ask any doctor, for optimum human development, it takes 1.5 pounds of produce a day. If you're not getting that 1.5 pounds, your body is in deficit. That's where illnesses come from, because we get all our nutrition and optimum minerals and vitamins from produce. You don't get as well of vitamins out of canned produce, but fresh produce, yes. So that's what we want to try to accomplish, is to get this back, you know, and create. We've got a whole huge vision that's just kind of overwhelming of what we want to do in the next 3-4 years, and it's going to get even bigger and even better.
Scott, what's the thing that surprises you the most about the food deficit here in Iowa? The fact that there is a deficit, or the fact that we're in Iowa that creates so much food for the world?
Well, it's more that there is a deficit that affects me. I mean, I went to Iowa State University Extension office, and this lady's like, I know your name. And I'm like, I don't know how you know me. She's like, you're the guy running a food pantry out of your house. I'm like, oh, that's me. You know, because in Madison County, there's, you know, no food bank there. There's the multi-purpose center that, you know, people are allowed to go to once every 3 months, but, you know, that's it. If you need food more than every 3 months.
Stop again. Go back and say that again. They can go how often?
Once every 3 months, and then the Iowa Food Bank comes out the third Thursday of the month.
Okay.
So I've been doing this out of my house. And, you know, I shoot a lot of deer, so I got deer meat in my freezer, and, you know, chickens from when I butchered all my chickens. So I've been giving this stuff away for the last, you know, 4 months.
Wow.
Because there's just not places available. I've had people come from Creston to come to my house to get food out of my pantry.
Wow.
And I mean, we need more places where people can do it. You know, I would like to open a food bank or a food pantry in Winterset, you know, and make facilities available that other food pantries don't, laundry facilities, because you talk to kids at school, you know, 20% of absences are caused because they don't have clean clothes. So make those facilities available. Put somebody as a director that can run the food pantry that offers tutoring to students, you know, and stuff like that. And I mean, there's a lot of opportunities where you can make a change. And it always starts with the first person you look at in the mirror, yourself. So that's where I'm working.
And I'm glad you're bringing it up this morning, and we're very grateful that we have the shelters and the food pantries that we have here in Des Moines. But when you think of rural Iowa, they don't always have those opportunities, and you want to make sure that happens.
Yeah, and I mean, it starts everywhere. I mean, Des Moines, I mean, there's so many places in Des Moines, and, you know, DMARC, they buy an extra 5,000 to 6,000 pounds of produce a week, you know, just so people can come in. And I mean, it is coming up on garden season, and they get a lot more, but they never, I mean, there's never enough.
There's never an abundance, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how can we help in this whole
As I say, these are some lofty goals and great ideas, but we need people to get on board so that this can be successful.
Yeah, they can check out our website, you know, foodforhope.org. Melissa has, you know, been great help. I mean, we've had 10 people out in the greenhouse starting plants. And Alda over here, she's with Master Gardeners. You know, she helps train these people. So it's not just me and Drew training people. You know, we've got Alda with Master Gardeners helping train people. And I mean, I like to see these people next year, you know, living full-time, working full-time, and farming.
And Melissa, what does this mean to the people that give them the ability to do something like this?
Well, this is huge. I mean, think about just anytime you go out and you put your hands to work, you get into the dirt, and you're able to then plant a seed, see that seed grow, nourish it, and we can obviously use that for several different metaphors for helping people turn their life around. But even to be able to then flourish it and say, okay, the lunch that I'm eating today in the shelter, I actually helped grow. here's the lettuce that we harvested and the tomatoes and the okra and the green peppers. And so when they can actually do that, it changes the cycle and it changes the way people think. It changes the behavior, and that's what one of our biggest goals are. If I could really add to some of the call to action, I learned this really awesome tax credit that they have in the state of Iowa, and it's called Farm to Food Program. And I would challenge everybody and all your viewers to plant one extra plant of tomato, one extra acorn squash, and then turn around and donate the produce from that to the local food bank, to DMARC, and get a tax credit. It's 10% tax credit for what you donate. Now I don't know all the details, so I would
Seriously?
obviously, yeah. So honestly, my entire garden
idea.
this year, I was sitting there taking advice from Scott. I'm like, all right, when do I plant my green beans? And then a week from now, I do it again so that I can harvest that and bring it to the food
How
bank.
many
and bring it
people
to DMARC.
plant tomatoes or cucumbers and you're trying to give them away, trying to figure out
Right.
what you're going to do with them at
Take
the
them
office?
to the office.
Yeah,
Please
exactly.
take them.
Yeah, well, now you have a place
have
for
a
them.
place.
So check that out. A lot of people doing their taxes this week as it's crunch time.
That's
Ask
right.
about that and see what we can
Well,
do.
what we really want you to do is go to Food for Hope, foodforhope.org. Scott, right now, to keep you going right now with this amazing idea that you have, you're still looking for volunteers and also funding as well.
We're always looking for volunteers. Funding always helps. I mean, it gets more stuff done. We've done everything out of our pocket this year. And little alone, we purchased our seeds, which is over $4,000. And then since we're organic certified, we have to buy special potting soil and everything else, which is $2,600 a pallet. And we've gone through 2 pallets already. And, we're just beginning the year.
Right.
So our first come off of the season is probably $10,000 to $20,000 to even before we start growing.
Before you get started, but you have an amazing idea, and we're going to make sure the word gets out so we can keep this going successful.
I appreciate that very much.
Scott, always great to see you. Thank you,
Thank
Melissa,
you,
for stopping
Absolutely.
by.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
It is 7:42 right now. Hopefully you can stick around because we are going to be right back. You're watching CW Iowa Live in West Des Moines.